And now, here's the Boomer and the Babe, Pete Peters and Deborah Brown.
So, Dr. Peggy Marshall, you have a program that helps people figure out where they are, what their strengths are, what some of their shadow somethings are. I mean, it's just some shadow conversation going on because we're very complicated beings, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
But we interact with each other on various levels, and if we understand ourselves, then we can understand how to better communicate with another person that we're trying to either influence or bring along with us. And in a sale, we really need to understand more of those kind of components, don't we?
Absolutely. And there are a number of assessments out there, Deborah, but Saleswomen International has decided that they're going to focus on the DISC assessment and align that with the sales process. So there's two features to what we do with our DISC assessment process. The first one is to understand who you are and understand that your strengths and some of your shadow behaviors so that you can be more effective when you're communicating with other people. And then tailoring what you know about yourself to be more effective when you're interacting with clients.
So I see where my strengths and behaviors kind of rise up to various, levels on your chart. And I go, oh my goodness, if I was always like that in every interaction, I could steamroll over someone and never have the kind of relationship that I wanted, either in a sales situation or in just an interpersonal situation. It's very good to assess yourself.
I think you just nailed it. What's important is to understand who you are, embrace who you are, and then be able to make choices about who you want to be, because the DISC tells us how other people see us and how we act in relationship to other people. So say, for example, DISC represents dominance, influence, steadfastness, and conscientiousness. People tend to have two above what we call the midline, one their core, and the second one being their support. So if I know that I'm high dominant, I tend to drive and take charge. And if I know that I'm high influencing, I'm trying to persuade people by being better in the way that I present things to people and helping them understand what I'm saying in a very persuasive, optimistic, enthusiastic way. So when I meet my opposite then, which is a high steadfast, high conscientiousness personality, I know that I have to talk a little bit slower. I have to be more diligent about making sure I engage them in a conversation because they tend to be more introverted. And so I'm adapting my style to make sure that the communication I'm having is very effective.
And this is not a manipulation.
Absolutely not.
This is a working together by understanding yourself first and then being able to see in other people what either the similar or the dissimilar traits are, so that you can say, ah, I see, or I hear differently,
yes,
or I understand differently.
Absolutely. We've been doing assessments for years. The assessment we're using is 50 years in use, and so we've come to learn the nuances and all the things that you can expect from it. But one of the things that I like best is it helps me understand the person I'm talking to. Now I've got a decision to make. I can either adapt my style and be more effective,
right,
or I can decide that we're going to stay in our styles and be ineffective. In a sales role, it's really more important that I adjust to a client than I make a client adjust to me.
Right.
And the research tells us that people buy from people they like and people who are more like them. So it's not, you're right, it's not manipulation, right, it's helping ourselves be more effective.
So it's how we listen, how we perceive, and how we then take that information and move forward into effective either sales or interpersonal relationships.
Yes.
I think it's great. And I think starting with ourselves is the best way, because then it's about how I can change what I'm doing to better incorporate our relationship.
The really neat thing is that as you learn more about yourself, it impacts your personal relationships and it impacts your professional relationships. Now, because Saleswomen International is a focus on being better at sales and growing and strengthening our ability to sell and close sales, of course, there's going to be some focus on sales. But once you learn about yourself, you're going to be more effective in all of your relationships.
Well, I always call it, I park my car in I. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we'll work with it.
Deborah, thank you so much.